Have you ever thought about owning your own chickens so that you can get fresh eggs straight from your backyard? In this video, I talk with Kevin Hom about his experience owning chickens. We'll learn about how much they cost, what does it take to take care of them, how to keep out predators, and where you can get chickens if you want one. Do they make good pets? Stay tuned to find out.
Look at all those chickens.
Hey Kev,
Hey Dan, how are you
I
doing?
I'm doing well. Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, I got the perfect hat for it too.
Well, today I wanted to talk to you because I know that you have bought chickens during the pandemic, and I noticed that there's a lot of people really interested in owning chickens now, raising chickens straight in their backyard. And I thought I would talk to you because you have a lot of experience now. Um, can you tell me how and when you guys decided to get chickens?
Yeah, my wife and I, Valerie, were interested in chickens for some time, but it was more so, we talked about it, how it'd be cool to have them. And then when pandemic happened, it was kind of like the perfect timing to get them.
Hmm.
And so we bought two chickens, and they don't cost too much. They're like 20 to 40 bucks depending on the breed you get. And we started off with two, then one actually passed away, and then we got two more, and then we got two foster kids, and with the foster kids they wanted more chickens, so we got two more. So now we're
Mm.
sitting at five, um, post pandemic, basically.
Sorry to hear about the one that you lost. What happened, if I can ask?
Yeah, it was a hot like Labor Day weekend,
Mm.
and the chickens have that urge to lay their eggs every day, and they were already holding the eggs for a few days. So one of them decided to go in and try to lay in the hot coop on a 100-degree day, and we're pretty sure she got a heat stroke.
Oh
And
no.
we came back home and found that she passed away. And
Uh,
the thing with chickens, they need like a partner, or they want you to buy them in pairs so that
oh,
they
wow.
have someone around, or another chicken around. So we decided to buy two more, so then there would be three of them.
Okay, so when you buy chickens, they need a partner. For what reason?
I think they're very social animals, and so you're never really supposed to have just one, and
Mm,
especially if you're not there with it constantly, you need at least two chickens so that
mm.
they have each other to partner up with and walk around. Even though they're just hens, no roosters, but you want to make sure that you have at least two. And anyone you buy from, they will not sell you one unless you're buying it to eat, I guess.
I have some photos of your chickens. Maybe you could kind of tell me what are their names and about the different breeds that you have
Yeah.
here.
So these are the main three. The one in the middle is Courtney.
Uh-huh.
Is named by our former foster child after a Barbie character. Number two is the gold buff Orpington named Leia, as in like because she's an egg Leia, and then the one on the far left is Bard Rock chicken. She's Hilga after Hilga Hufflepuff from Harry Potter.
Cool. Do you think that you mentioned that the chickens are like 20 or 30 bucks, like not too expensive, right? But um, is it actually cost efficient to raise chickens?
That's a running joke amongst like backyard chicken owners because they end up spending way too much money on their chickens, like building a fancy chicken coop or buying organic feed and all that. I think I only kind of did the math early on and decided it really wasn't worth it, but but that was also not factoring like it takes to get to the grocery store and all that.
But when
But
you
the
go to the
cost,
grocery store, you're buying other stuff anyway, right? So
yeah, exactly. But if you eat a lot of eggs, then it could be worth it because on average, our chickens will lay 23 to 28 per month
okay,
eggs. So
yeah.
that's literally almost one every day. It's a little
Okay.
less than one a day.
Okay. And what do you like to feed them?
We get an organic feed for them, and I think it comes in like I want to say a 10 or 15 pound bag that costs about $40. Um, yeah, I can't tell you the brand right off the top of my head, but we also grow stuff in our garden and feed them plenty of organic vegetables and stuff like that. Actually, one of the chickens gets into our vegetable bed, like we don't want it to get in there, and it finds
Huh.
its way in there too.
And I so you talked about like growing the chicken or making the chicken coop. Like, did you build it yourself? How much did that cost?
Yeah, we started off with a pre-made chicken coop that I bought used for probably around $100.
Hmm.
And after one of the chickens died, I decided to make a bigger one. Also, one that we could keep them in there permanently or throughout the day, just in case hawks or predators were coming to get them. But we haven't had any predator issues since then. Um, so I built a chicken coop at the worst time of the year, which was during pandemic when wood was expensive. So it kind of ended up being like $1,000 coop.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, because of the cost of wood. Um, but I made it large enough where it could hold more than 5 chickens. So, and then if
Wow.
we needed to, we could keep them inside the run and not let them out in the yard so
Yeah.
they wouldn't get attacked by any predators. But we've never had that issue, and they just roam the yard freely all day.
So you said that you did the calculation and you figured out that it wasn't worth it. So then why did you get the chickens anyway?
I thought it would just be cool to take care of chickens and,
Yeah.
you know, seeing all the different breeds. It makes you quite interested in taking care of them, and it's just the human nature of being able to take care of your own yard, to produce food in your own backyard. I know not everyone feels that way, but it kind of feels like you're going back to like grassroots of
Mm,
being reliant on not going on to the grocery store for eggs, but
yeah.
or chicken if you're raising them to eat.
Have you noticed a difference in the flavor? Is there more nutrients in the eggs? What do you think?
That's kind of funny because like we've personally done a taste test,
Yes.
like a blind taste test, and we're like, we don't really taste the difference. But everyone that we give eggs to, they swear that it tastes so much better. So
It's a
it,
placebo, right?
I guess so. And like today, I was with a friend and I was looking at the pasture organic eggs for $14 for a dozen. I'm like, damn, I just should slap on a label that says backyard raised, sell it for $8.
Yeah.
But
So what do you do with your extra eggs that you guys don't eat?
we eat quite a bit, especially since my daughter and Valerie like to bake. But if we do have extras and we know we're not gonna eat them, we'll give them away from to like friends or family, or bring them to like a potluck we're going to. We'll
Mm.
give them like a dozen eggs.
You mentioned that you know there's these chickens are or can you tell me more about like what the like do the chickens have personalities? What's it like to have chickens as pets? Or like how did your view on chickens change like as you own chickens?
Yeah, so a lot of people can't separate the whole pet versus farm animal
Uh-huh.
thing. But for me personally, like I do see them as pets, but if we wanted to or needed to, I will eat one, if I need to. Even though they have names and everything like that, but I
Yeah.
don't think my family would eat it. So it'd be like, you know, Hilga for one. The name of the chicken's Hilga. So, but I mean, they do have personalities. So, like, I could sit here and tell you about each one and their personalities and why or how we know which one's top of the pecking order and which one's the bottom of the.
Oh, pecking order.
Yeah. So,
Well,
we've heard that saying, the pecking order, and that comes from chickens for sure. I didn't send you any videos, but there's definitely videos where they're pecking each other. Um,
Like
kind of
meaning
help.
they literally peck each other to kind of like say back
Yeah,
off.
yeah. So like teenagers will punch their friend and like, hey, that's mine. Like,
Yeah.
just imagine pecking them with their beak,
Okay.
or um, once they get the pecking order put together, like the lead will just give them a stare and go, and then they'll back off.
Yeah. So
And then,
so
yeah, certain ones are a little more affectionate than others. We have two that really won't let you touch them or try not to let you touch them, but
mm,
three of them are will come up and let you hold them.
mm. So maybe we could break it down a little bit in terms of like a list. So what do you think were like the pros of getting the chickens, like what was really worth it, and then what were like the cons that you didn't really expect, like before you got them?
I mean, pros would be having fresh eggs that you don't have to refrigerate. Um, I think it's good to have the social aspect of giving away, some eggs
Mhm.
that you have. They definitely have what do you call it? Like, it's nice to be out there, especially during the pandemic when things were stressful and just it was stress relieving just to hang out with them and pet
Mm,
them or hold them.
mm,
I think it also kind of like teaches you about where some of your food comes from and being able to see like actually have chickens and see that they have personalities and you know and for some of us may not feel okay to have them just in a, I don't know, one by one by one or one by one cage
yeah.
that they lay eggs in, which most of our farm raised
Mm,
animals are.
mm.
um, I think I mean, I learned how to build a chicken coop by watching like 3 YouTube videos like 50 times, and it turned out pretty well. So it's kind of fun accomplishment. I think most
Yeah.
of it you kind of feel accomplished
Mm,
personally to be able to do all that kind of stuff. Plus, it's
yeah.
fun thing to talk about when people come over.
Yeah. And the kids like them a lot, or what? How do they feel about the chicken?
They like them, but they don't really help out too much with the chores of it. But
Mm,
chickens are really easy to take care of. So like
okay.
the difference between chickens and a dog, like dog's not going to provide any eggs for you.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll help you with the stress relieving and make you feel loved, but chickens will sit right next to you. Some will let you hold them. Um, like any animal, like they love being held and pet to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I think
So
some of
what am I
the
looking at here in this video? Sorry, I pulled this up and
oh yeah, so sometimes when we're done with the garden, we'll
yeah.
let them in to eat whatever's left over, and then put some fertilizer in it naturally as they're
Okay.
eating it. And they always want access to the vegetables and the plants,
Mm,
so we'll let them go in there and they start scratching at the ground and kind of
mm.
move around the dirt for you too.
I see. Sorry I cut you off there. I think maybe we could like ask I could
Well,
ask you about
you want
like
some of the cons?
yeah, some of the cons, like is it too expensive? Is it a lot of maintenance or
Yeah, I think depending where you live and the cost of feed and stuff, it could be kind of expensive. We didn't start off with chickens as chicks because you'd have to get like a heat lamp and chick food, so like that part in itself could cost a little more. So we got them as like adolescents, and then grew them up from there. Some cons would be they could get into your garden and eat it. They're not smart enough like a dog where you tell them no and they won't do it, but you'll tell them no and they'll freak out and like run away, but they'll keep trying to come back because they think you're growing those plants for them.
But didn't you have it enclosed? Like how did they break out of that?
Yeah, so we have a bird netting around it, but sometimes after a while the netting has some holes in it. So
Uh-huh.
the I don't know if I sent you a video of the bottom of the totem pole or the bottom of the pecking order. We have a chicken named Amber.
Uh-huh.
She uh, she she's an Easter egger, so she lays blue eggs. And, we
Oh,
wanted a breed where we got the Easter eggs that were blue. But since she's on the bottom of the pecking order and doesn't get as much food as everyone, she will stand on the net and eat through the net, or like find the hole and get into um, the bed and eat our vegetables.
you said Amber. Is Amber's the one that has
Yeah, her name's Amber.
Amber? Let's see if I have a.
She's an Easter egger. She doesn't have like the red stuff on her. It almost looks like she has like a mustache, but I'm not
Okay.
sure if I have too many videos of her.
Here's a.
Yeah, so that's still the main three.
Yeah.
Um,
See if I can find a. I just thought this would be cool because I should see your coop.
yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely had to be creative in getting cheap wood. The the roost that they're standing on, Home Depot has this wood that they put their lumber on, and then that wood that's underneath them is free. So like you could literally walk into Home Depot and ask them if you could have
Really?
that. They let you take it, and so that's what I
All
turned
right.
into the roost. I know one of the videos you showed had Halloween in it, but
Yeah.
yeah, Amber isn't always the one that's photogenic. She runs away.
There. So one of the things I was going to ask was, I think a lot of the viewers they don't know the difference between the unrefrigerated eggs and the refrigerated eggs. Can you talk about why you don't need to refrigerate these eggs and how long they last?
Yeah, I could be wrong on the technicality on it, but what I hear is, most of our store-bought eggs are bleached. They clean it of all the
Yeah.
bacteria,
Yeah.
mostly trying to get rid of the bad bacteria, but it also gets rid of the good bacteria that helps preserve these eggs. And
Yeah.
so you have to refrigerate it.
Hmm.
And plus, we don't know when those were laid, right?
Yeah.
We don't know if it was a week ago, 3 weeks ago, a month ago. So they have to refrigerate it. Whereas,
Mhm.
our chickens lay their eggs, that it might have a little bit of feathers or poop or dirt on it, but you know, we just keep it on our kitchen top, uh, and basically use it within a few weeks.
Mhm.
Um, I think the longest we've had eggs before we ate it was probably like 4, 5 weeks,
Yeah.
but we don't really go that long without eating them. If I wash them, I will usually use it right away or put it in the
Yeah.
fridge if I washed it and didn't use it.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
normally I wash them and use them right away.
One of the reasons is they eggs naturally have this membrane on the outside of them, and so when they kind of do the industrial wash, it strips away that membrane that keeps out like the water, the air, and stuff like that. And once that membrane's
Yeah.
gone, then the bacteria can seep in through the shell into the egg, and that's like one of the main reasons. So I think a lot of Americans don't know that because in other countries they actually don't do that to their eggs, and so like I think in like
Hmm.
a lot of places in Europe and pretty much everywhere else in the world, um, they don't refrigerate the eggs, and so then there's some people in America they come here and they go, oh, why do they refrigerate them? And they don't refrigerate them, but they don't know the difference, and so it's really
Yeah.
it's not good if they don't refrigerate American eggs.
That's what happens when it's industrialized, right?
Could you think of anything else comes to owning chickens?
um, I would recommend getting an automatic door, because literally, like if we go on vacation,
Mm.
we just have to have a neighbor check on the water level, and that's
Mm.
basically it. Water level and maybe food level if we're gone longer than a week. But they go in the chicken coop and leave the chicken coop by themselves, and which you can't do with a dog.
Yeah. So you're saying you got an automatic door, meaning that they can go out into the backyard whenever they want.
um, it's based off of like solar light,
Uh-huh.
so it's programmed to where like after the sun comes out, it starts a 20-minute timer before it opens, and then same thing when the light disappears and it gets dark, it counts down 20 minutes before it closes the door.
Oh
So
wow.
the chickens are, their natural instinct is to go in before it gets dark.
Got it. And that's helpful because it keeps the predators out and like
Yeah, and then I believe chickens like their vision isn't very good at night,
yeah.
so that's a big reason. Also, like if there wasn't a chicken coop, they jump into a tree because once it
Yeah.
gets dark, they can't see anything very well.
Okay.
So anytime an animal breaks into a chicken coop when it's nighttime, they're pretty much
They're done.
sitting chickens or sitting ducks,
Eating chickens.
like your meme. I'm sure I could talk about it forever, but you know, YouTube videos can't be very long. Attention span and all that. But like I have videos of them just attacking each other and made like put Jurassic Park music to it, and when you watch chickens, they are like little dinosaurs the way they walk. At least according to Jurassic Park, right? Since we've never really seen an actual dinosaur. I mean, another con would be the amount of poop that they lay. um, I mean, right now we don't really clean it up, but like it hardens and then just becomes kind of like part of the dirt.
Hmm.
So it's not too bad. But when we have friends over, I'll usually scoop or sweep it all up. But it makes a lot of good fertilizer too. So
Hmm.
that's like another benefit we didn't even talk about. A compost bin that we put it in, or just get rid of it. Yeah, I mean, I used to just scoop it with a little shovel, a small little shovel that I would get it all and put it in. And you got the chicken coop where they sleep inside,
Yeah.
and then a lot of times when they come out of the chicken coop, there's like a caged area
Okay.
that they're allowed to roam around and stretch their legs, and they call that the run.
Okay.
But they don't use the run because we have the door wide open, so they basically have full range of our backyard. And
Nice.
they never jump out, they never leave. Sometimes they'll follow me on the side of the house when I open the door, but they don't go very far.
Can they fly a little bit? How far can they fly?
It's more like jump flapping, but they could jump over a fence if they really wanted to. Well, the skinny ones can. Uh,
Yeah.
Leia and Halloween are a little too fat to do that.
Yeah. In Ocarina of Time, they can fly pretty high, I think.
Yeah, when we first got the two chickens, one of my foster kids chased them up into a tree, and
Wow.
I had to extend the ladder to get up there to get them down.
Dang.
Even though they probably would have jumped down in the morning, but
Yeah.
we were noobs and didn't want our chickens to be in someone else's backyard, which they were in our neighbor's tree.
I see.
Yeah. But they jumped on the fence and then jumped into the tree. So I don't think they could jump more than, say, 8 feet at a time or
If someone,
fly.
yeah, if someone wanted to get chickens, where would they go to get chickens?
Oh, just check Craigslist and check online. There's plenty of backyard people or local farms people giving them away.
Yeah.
That's what I did. Just check Craigslist since I don't think you could sell chickens on Facebook Marketplace.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think there's some websites of some farms too that sell them. Just kind of like dog kennel places or people breeding dogs sell have their own websites.
Cool. All right. Thanks for the info, Kevin.
Yeah, and there's also your local feed stores sell chickens too. I forgot about that. We didn't buy it from a local feed store though.
Okay. All right. That's all I had. Thanks so much.
Okay, no problem. You have a good night.
Good night.